Hey everybody, we're about to install a window unit. That's what I'm going with, the AC for this cabin. I'm not going to go with splitless duct, and I'm not going to go with something fancy. If a window unit goes bad, they're easy to replace. I'm finding them less than $100 now. Of course, they're made in China, not going to last, but for that price, they don't have to last. So I'm going to show you what I've done here or about to do, and let's go to that window unit first. So you don't have to have anything really big. So I will not be powering this with the solar. Get a little closer there. What I am going to be doing is using this. Excuse the mess, it's a construction site. I've got two Harbor Freight generators. These are actually Yamahas, and you can buy a parallel kit. So with the parallel kit, I can run the whole cabin here. So let's go back and show you what's going to happen here. So, like I said, it's a construction zone. So, gonna get the sawzall, get a drill, Harbor Freight again, and this right here, I will cut a hole in it. And I'll show you how the end product looks. I've got one on the other side, and this one's actually a heat pump. I like backup. I've got wood heat, propane heat, and a heat pump. So this is what it looks like when it's done. I just trim it out with wood, paint it, and caulk it, and it's been here for 3 years, and of course it's looking a little nasty and it got a little beat up. I bought it used. But with that, then I go to this. This feeds the panel going into the house. And of course I want to go over one more thing here. Always, there's a ground. I have my whole system grounded. Anything that's electrical needs a ground. Don't skimp. So right here, it's another ground. Now you see two ground rods, and some people freak out. Well, the code says you have to have one ground rod. No, what happens is you can run one ground rod, but you have to have a ground rod tester. I don't know anybody that owns one. But the code says if you have two ground rods, you don't have to get them tested, and they must be 8 feet apart. Well, I've gone 15 feet apart. That makes a better ground. And I want to show you one other thing. I know we're talking about AC, but I've got a metal roof. So what I've done, I've got a ground rod and the wire bonded to the metal roof with a lug, and that gives me more electrical protection. So you see I got a ground wire running for my ham radio. But back to the AC. There's the AC. When I get done, we'll come back here one more time and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Thank you, Mr. Chinese man. And what I'll do is I'll cut this box and use it for a template. So when I have to cut the wall. Here's another trick I do when I'm roughing in the wiring. I show what appliances are going to go where, so I know where to run my stuff. So the next step, we'll be cutting a hole in it. So far, so good. I do, I drill a hole, a hole, a hole, and a hole. Then I get the Sawzall and cut it out. And always go inside your measurement, because once you go past that, cut it once, you don't get a second chance. Harbor Freight, 15 bucks. And in the background you can hear the Harbor Freight generator running. Alright, next shot we're going to show you is the outside. Ta-da! So now we have a hole in the wall. I want to show you what's going on here. I'm going to frame this out, frame that out, bring a frame here. Let's go outside, I'll show you the boards. Pardon the generator. So this will be my framing material. I'm using a 2x4. And then I've got these furring strips. They're dirt cheap. And that is what I'll go on the outside of the cabin. And eventually, I'm going with this blue stained pine that'll be inside the cabin. I have to do the air conditioner before I can put this siding up inside the house. So anyway, just here's the shot of the generator that I have fallen in love with. Super quiet, and it works. I got two of them, and Harbor Freight's real good about the warranties on them too. I had one go bad on me, no questions asked. So this is why I don't really worry about the hoe that I cut. I go with a rough cut first, frame it out, and now I'm going with the saw just to do my final trim. See how the saw blade is? I'm just going right through here, trimming it up, and then I'll have the board coming from here, and that'll be my final piece, and then I can fit the AC unit in there. I want to go over this too real quick. I always thought and observed that a difference between a good job and a quality job or a better job is the amount of material that you use. I could have gone cheap and just let this board here and let this board here, but I've cut a hole in the wall. So now I want to build a header. And a cheap, easy way to do it, or just lazy way, I've got these screws and I'm going to drive them down to this board that's going to go up, and then I'll do it again right up here. And then what I've done here, I furred this out, so I want a little bit of a gap, so I've got some little bit of wiggle room to get that window unit in there, but not too much, but I don't want to fight it either. So anyway, the more material that you use, the better off you are. And if you think about it, you're doing the labor, so why not spend a little bit more money on the material? show you this real quick. You'll see there's a gap, and it looks like I messed up, but I did not, because I'm going to use some carpenter welding rod, expanded foam. I'll fill that in. I want a good gap there so I can actually get it insulated really well. I'll let that dry, and then I'll put the trim pieces around it. Well, on to the next scene. And I got the trim pieces cut. Got a pre-mark. And I always use screws in case I mess up. And that'll go like that. And I'll caulk around that. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, or leave me a bad comment. I'll have more videos coming. Once again, thank you for watching.